5-4 in New Super Mario Bros. Wii is a brutal level. You must ride the raft all the way to the end of the level in order to beat it. However, speedrunners have found a way around this, and today we are going to be looking at how speedrunners will optimize 5-4 over time. The first known 5-4 completed has a 3:48 ending in game time. This does not seem possible. UC Pro beat the level in under a minute. In order for this to be possible, he must execute 5-4 skip, a trick found weeks after the game was released. You must spin onto the platforms above the level to make it to the end. UC Pro does this very quickly, although he does bonk on the power block and hesitate near start point too. Eventually he uses the conveyor belts above the level to make it to the end, and runs to the flagpole. The next record was set by Laker Z in his run of 25:49. He completed the level with a 3:49 ending in game time. He did a wall kick for the first platform to save some time, and hit the power for safety. He also got on the conveyors later to save some more time. Laker Z once again beat this record with a 3:50 ending IGT in his 25:31. There wasn't a specific time save, the movement was just improved in several places. The next person to beat the record was Ochguard. He got a 3:51 ending in game time in his 25:14 run. The wall kicks were faster, and he did not drill the question blocks. 5-4 is becoming pretty optimized. In Ochguard's 25:09 run, he once again improved 5-4. He got a 3:52 ending in game time. He spun closer to the poison with most of his jumps, which let him improve the level again. Finally, we get our first 5-4 time that wasn't in an any percent run. Diamond Crafter A got a 3:53 ending in game time in IL attempts. The wall kicks were much cleaner. He spun very close to the poison each time, making Mario float less to the next platform, and skipped hitting the power block. DCA just barely got the 3:53.
How? First try 3:53, that's insane.
Next up, we have the Coding Boy, who got a 3:55 ending IGT. This was greatly improved from the 3:53 in every way. The wall kicks were extremely clean, the spins were extremely close to the poison, and it got an extremely impressive mid-air Koopa bounce and did not bonk for the first time exiting the conveyor, as well as getting an impressive mid-air bomb bounce. Tutti Pulo would tie this time, doing a unique strategy after the second wall kick and getting a new strat called Half IL, which involves landing on a different platform, and goes on the Mini Goomba platform as well, which saves some time too. It also did a wall kick at the conveyor to not bonk while landing on it. Diamond Crafter A would also tie this time, actually skipping the second wall kick and simply landing on the platform, which saves a few frames and avoiding a bonk on the conveyor with a small turn back. Coding would eventually break this three-way tie. He got a 3:56 ending in game time. He got insanely optimized wall kicks, Half IL, although he did not opt for the Mini Goomba platform, and finally did a new strat on the conveyor, which involves crouching and not bonking, which has an extremely tight window. He also had to uncrouch as soon as possible to not hit the bomb when he went below it. It seemed like it was the limit for 5-4. However, a new strat was found by Yakko Tracker. If you spin very close to the poison, you can actually jump off the question block onto the first bomb, spin frame perfectly onto the second bomb, and then do a perfect twirl and land on the third bomb. It cannot be understated how difficult this trick is. However, Skippy was able to pull it off. Skippy's 5-4 was slower than Coding's for most of the level with no Half IL or Mini Goomba platform, but the addition of Bombful let Skippy end with a 3:57 in game time. Glitchman24 was also able to pull off Bombful, but he too missed Half IL. It seemed 3:58 was possible, but would require a run that barely lost time anywhere to ever happen. Was that doable? Diamond Crafter A would tie the 3:57 ending in game time, but his one was different. He got a mid-high 3:57 instead of the low ones the other players were getting. If anyone could get 3:58, it was DCA. However, a time of 3:58 would likely require weeks of effort to achieve. However, DCA started doing attempts the next day for 3:58. When he was doing attempts on that day, he got a good run to Bombful, but he had been only grinding for one day, so nobody expected him to get Bombful. But DCA did end up getting Bombful. Would it be enough for 3:58 though? The run did indeed barely get a 3:58. The improvement was in extremely fast platform landings and wall kicks on top of Bombful. This was an absolutely incredible time, and would likely stay at the top of the leaderboards for a very long time. Many people would tie this over time. Pidgey, Current Joseph, -1/12, Bikir, who was the only person to not do second wall kick skip in the IL, Cad225, Muffin, Koopa, and Volza. It's worth noting the effort it took for all of these runners. 3:58 is a ridiculous time, and it took countless hours for most of these runners. It seemed like the 5-4 leaderboard would continue to collect 3:58s forever. Billy Joe 66 even got 3:58 twice in runs with a slower pipe for in-game time that is actually faster in real time. Although he never released a video of it, Yakka Tracker had achieved 3:58 multiple times by this point. Yakka Tracker is a runner who is extremely good at the any percent levels and had achieved multiple amazing times by this point. However, it seemed he had to settle on a tie for now. However, he started to release some videos of him getting high 3:58s. He clearly was going for 3:59, but how is that even possible? The simple answer is absolutely flawless movement. Yakka's movement was on another level compared to others, and it seemed he would get a 3:59 any day now. And on an early day of April 2022, Yakka finally achieved his goal. Yakka ended up getting a mind-blowing 3:59. This was absolutely incredible. The movement was perfect through the level, and there were no visible mistakes. Cat225, who was going for IL sweep at the time, was defeated because this was far beyond any IL he had ever done. He decided to give up on the sweep and do other things. But then, this happened. This was absolutely huge. Although it is extremely difficult, it is doable in real time and slightly faster. So Cad entered the grind, and one day after he started, he got the strat. It had a slow ending after the power block. But the pipe kick, which is only possible with Mini, was just enough to get a 3:59. A record which was seemingly impossible to tie had been tied thanks to Roadkill's genius strategy. And that is the world record history of 5-4 any percent.